Penhale.
And hi, I'm Shane Winter, and we're Penhale and Winter, an architectural practice based in Fremantle in the southwest corner of Australia. We live and work on the land of the Whadjuk Noongar people, and we pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. We would like to extend our thanks and gratitude to Alice Woodman for his invitation and to Tony Fretton for his ongoing support and encouragement. Working locally, our attention is often drawn back to our surroundings, and we have an ongoing interest in understanding the place in which we live, work and teach. Fremantle is a city formed out of its natural setting, shaped by a context of water and limestone. It's through this lens that we wish to share three of our projects, a collection of small, ephemeral site interventions undertaken in Fremantle over the past 3 years. Individually, each work speaks specifically about place, experience, and a way of working.
In 2019, we were invited to be part of the second Fremantle Biennale and joined 12 other practices to design site-specific works on nominated sites tracing the former shoreline around Authur Head, a significant limestone headland marking the city's western edge. Designed in collaboration with Kieran Murnane, the work in the Biennale had a 3-week duration. Since 1829, the headland has seen rapid change, primarily through the quarrying and removal of the greater part of its physical body of stone, but also through the construction and demolition of numerous early civic, maritime and military buildings and installations. The process of physical removal, building and erasure within this location is of a particular intensity, but is indicative of the broader physical transformation of the developing city and its landscape setting. Allocated a site directly south of the headland and positioned between two significant limestone buildings, the Kerosene store and the Commissariat building. Our thinking about this site was directed toward the material presence of limestone. We recognised an enduring relationship between the two heritage structures and the landscape within which they are situated. The proposal, as a material response to place, brings limestone back to the area where for 200 years it has been removed.
Acknowledging the dimensions of the former Kerosene store, a 19-metre diameter ring of limestone rubble was arranged loosely across the ground surface. Overlaying the plan on site, the geometry was interrupted and dissected by existing surfaces, reminders of past shorelines and earlier structures. Its 1.7 metre wide perimeter invited the public to leap over from the exterior into the centre. It also presented a path wide enough to traverse over, orientating the public and binding the installation to the adjacent limestone buildings and remnant headland beyond. Touching, holding, or walking on the limestone enabled a direct bodily experience of the material, revealing its geological and physical qualities. For 2 weeks, we tended to the installation, raking and sweeping each morning, bringing the circle back into formation. Our initial expectation was that the limestone would scatter and disperse. However, as days passed, we observed grass rapidly growing from below, entangling and binding the loose rock together. By the third and final week, the circle continued its transformation as pedestrians, cyclists and children pushed and pulled at the rocky surface. As the edge gradually feathered outward, thoughts of gifting limestone back to this place felt poetic and satisfying. However, at the conclusion of the Biennale and with the subsequent removal of the limestone rubble, all that remained was the former outline of the circle, a ghostly reminder of what once was.
In 2020, we were involved in the exhibition Design Frio Object Space Place at the Fremantle Arts Centre. In a separate gallery from other participants, we were asked to design a piece that responded to the built environment of the city. The exhibition and the work had an 8-week duration. Fremantle Arts Centre, the former lunatic asylum, is one of the city's enduring early limestone structures. Constructed in the 1860s using convict labour, the building's imposing outward appearance conceals a number of shaded inner courtyards. The building and its grounds are located at the northern extent of a north-south running limestone ridge, a ridge that once formed a natural eastern edge to the early township.
Our research was born out of a prolonged and continued observation of the city, its buildings, and specific architectural elements. Many of the city's early buildings utilised heavy limestone walls, often supported or supporting lightweight secondary elements, such as verandas, porches, and awnings. These transitional spaces mediate between the public realm of the street and the inner rooms held within. Often highly decorative, they act as a building's interface with the city, creating shadowy environments to gather under or move through. Extending across building typologies, the city contains a vast catalogue of eclectic types and oddities, defining and reinforcing the identity of the city. Our proposal sought to be an abstracted interpretation of the veranda and its associated experiences. Inserted into the existing gallery space, the full-length floor-to-ceiling inclined structure addresses the room. Behind the timber framing, sheet material stops short of meeting the floor, offering a glimpse of changing light and movement. The perforated surface along the upper third makes reference to the filigree adorning many of the city's buildings and facilitates a merging of natural daylight and artificial lighting from the gallery space. Blue paint demarcated the limits of the work, unifying and merging newly constructed components with existing floor and wall surfaces.
Approaching, the work is registered in the context of the former asylum interior, an environment of rooms defined by thick limestone walls, corridors, openings, and timber floors. The adjoining light-filled spaces set in direct contrast to the inky darkness contained within the gallery, and a sense of mystery and intrigue emanated from the space once familiar, now made strange. While engaging with ideas from external city references, the work also responded to the context of the room, specifically via its relationship with an existing fireplace and the opening of 3 formerly concealed windows. The project divided the existing space in 2, one defined by its dialogue with the fireplace, and the other by a concealed intensity of colour, light, shadow, and air.
Slipping in and slipping out occurred at either end, where the frame structure pulled away from the adjacent walls. An immersive shadowy experience, the interior was punctured by moments of release through 3 existing windows set into the outer limestone wall, revealed and opened for the first time in a number of years. Being within, the space was intimate, wide enough for only 1 or 2 people side by side. The work was able to condense a number of city experiences, allowing people to register things familiar and specific to Fremantle. A changing display of diurnal light, the sensation of the Fremantle doctor, an afternoon southwesterly sea breeze, and sounds and smells emanating from the city outside.
Last year, we were invited to design the architectural pavilion for the 2021 Fremantle Biennale, the site's responsive structure to accommodate up to 60 people for programmed events and performances. Co-authored with Wajak Noongar woman Sandra Harben, the work and the Biennale had a 3-week lifespan. The location for the Biennale was a section of the Swan River between 2 traffic bridges directly adjacent to the Fremantle port. This area is of continuing significance to our traditional owners, both as historic camping and hunting grounds, and also as an enduring intersection of multiple songlines and ancestral dreaming sites. Situated between the limestone hill of Dwerda Willadenup, place of the Dingo Spirit, and the water of the Bilya, we recognise the need to treat the architectural response with special care. The opportunity to work closely with Sandra was embraced, and an extended period of yarning and listening commenced.
The The site is located in a former quarried amphitheatre, set back from the river's edge and nestled against a limestone rock face. This largely forgotten public space provided respite and relative quiet in an area of movement and noise. Long periods were spent observing and recording temporal phenomena and the passage of time in direct relation to the ancient limestone and a significant Moreton Bay fig tree. It became the place to meet with Sandra, to yarn, to share ideas, to listen. Part groundwork, part civic infrastructure, the proposition was an invitation for people to linger. A carefully sited 72-metre sinuous form-ply bench navigated the site, binding people along its length and providing spaces for gathering, intimate encounters, or solitude. In a similar manner to Limestone Circle, the work provided dual modes of experience, both as an interior space to congregate and a perimeter to move around, binding in the enduring features and ephemeral experiences of place. The co-authorship of the work with Sandra was cemented with the writing of a love letter to place, an intertwining of everyday observations from sight with deeply felt callings to country, inscribed upon the bench's horizontal surface.
Hiya, Nunuk,
Hello, everyone.
Yinin, Nick, and Courage.
Sit, listen, and learn.
Puja, Wonking,
The land is speaking.
Nija, Mika,
The moon is
Yira,
above.
Nija, you art, Nunga born,
Look, this is not a Noongar tree, Moreton Bay fig, but a
Quap born,
lovely tree anyway. Is it
Nunuk Boranga,
your totem?
Junung,
The port and bridge light up.
Ngan Puja, Nunuk Puja, Naruk Puja,
My land, your land, our land,
Quaprata Puja,
beautiful country,
Nalak Port Puja,
our heartland.
Weirn Philip,
The spirit bird, seagull,
Yaking Belia,
at river's edge. Limestone in shadow, river traffic heavy, joggers, riders, dog walkers,
Knitting,
cold air,
Nank Ira,
sun above, bridge.
Nick,
Listen, leaf cackle, figs falling,
Puja, Wanganing,
the land is speaking. Dark space under canopy, limestone recedes, traffic hum,
Nini Jirup, Waranka,
small birds singing, chirping, roots stretching out, earthy smells,
Murdich Puja, Ngan Court Puja,
solid country, my heartland, cacophony of birds, magpies, parrots, honey eaters, screech of train,
Karla,
Heat radiating from the
Boya,
rock, ants dropping,
Kurunga Wabbing,
children playing, Fiat whispering,
Yar Coral Jitty Jitty,
willy wagtail approaching, insect noises around.
Puja, Wanganing,
The land is speaking.
dragonflies hovering, seagulls overhead,
Boats moving upriver, she oak needles,
dancing shadows, voices from above and below,
Quaprada Puja,
beautiful country,
Dabakan Kuring, Dabakan Kuring, Dabakan Kuring,
walk slowly, walk quietly, walk softly,
Puja, Wanganing,
the land is speaking.
Yinin, Nick, and Courage,
Sit,
listen,
and learn.
Kaya, Budawan.
Thank you.